It is the second to last episode of the season, and one of the craziest by far, as we finally learn the truth about what Chucky's really been up to. Hey, it's Kristen, and we are talking about the 7th episode in Syfy's Chucky series. And I thought things had been pretty insane so far, but this episode took the cake. Let's get into it. So we kick off this episode at the funeral of Jake's aunt. They're still trying to process everything. Everyone's grieving. We're also trying to figure out, why was Devin's mom at the house also, which led to her death. Apparently someone called her. Who was it? Was it Chucky? And the kids are starting to realize, okay, why is Chucky killing our parents? This has really affected Junior, and he blames Jake. He feels like he's a curse that, ever since he's kind of arrived and all of this has gone down, it's because of Jake.
You ruin everything. Everyone around you dies.
And so he punches him out. You could just see the anger that Junior is dealing with. And things get worse when Tiffany arrives at the funeral. And it was really interesting seeing her come in because the beginning of this episode is very dark. Everyone's wearing dark colors. And then here she comes in her fancy red car and just changes the mood. And she, says hello to Logan. She kisses him. It's super confusing and weird. And it's unclear at first if she actually knows him or if she's just trying to mess with everybody. But I think as we get through this episode, it just seemed like she was really trying to mess with everyone and just heighten all of these emotions. I gotta say, we have all loved those intro graphics for Chucky each week. This one really shook me with all the gravestones of the parents on them. Ooh, chills. We had a flashback to young Chucky and Tiffany in 1988, and you can see that there's some issues going on with their relationship. Tiffany feels like he's killing without her. What kind of relationship is this? In present day, we see Kyle and Andy continuing to work together to take down these Chuckies. They stop at a gas station and Andy leaves without Kyle. Maybe he was trying to protect her and didn't want her to get further involved and was thinking this is going to be the takedown between, Andy and Chucky that we've been waiting for since the beginning. We also see some issues going on between Devin and Jake because of everything that's gone on because of Chucky. Devin wants to leave because he thinks that'll be easier. Jake is like, well, please don't go. I've always thought of leaving, but I never wanted to leave you. I've always wanted to be around you. And Devin's kind of like, it's hard to be around you. I think of my dead mom when I see you. So there's definitely going to be some issues there in terms of their relationship. Will they be able to get over that? Lexi's mom, who's the mayor, is putting on this big event where they're screening Frankenstein. They're going to have a big celebrity guest who's going to be donating to the Better Days Children's Hospital. They kind of tease us, and I think we can kind of figure out who that special celebrity guest is going to be. I mean, what celebrity do we know? Tiffany took over Jennifer Tilly's body. I think it's pretty obvious Jennifer Tilly is going to be that special guest. And during that scene, we do hear a little bit more about Chucky and how Chucky was telling Caroline to kill her parents, to kill her sister. And it just seems like that has been Chucky's MO from the very beginning, right? He's been trying to get Jake to kill. He's been trying to get Caroline to kill. He's been trying to get Lexi to kill. Literally, anytime he's had an opportunity, he's trying to get these young kids to kill. So far, they haven't. But what's the deal there? Well, we're about to find out as he finally goes to Junior, who at this point is just in a really, really dark place. Tiffany stops by Junior's house with some Swedish meatballs, which I think just continues making Junior really suspicious of his father, and just things that I think are purposely being said to mislead Junior so that he will lose it and, potentially kill. We find Chucky in Junior's room. I did think it was a little bit surprising that Junior wasn't a little bit more concerned about finding out that Chucky could really talk and is alive, but he starts to really mess with him and kind of do what he had done with everyone else, is trying to convince them to kill. And I think at this point, Junior really is very susceptible to Chucky. He lost his uncle, he lost his nanny, he lost his mom, he broke up with his girlfriend. It feels like everything's kind of caving in on him. Now his dad is doing what his uncle did, becoming a drunk, and seemingly is having some relationship with this mysterious woman, Tiffany. What's going on? And when he picks up the knife, Chucky is like, you got guts, kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, the fact that he said that, something's going to go down, because that's what the killer said to him when he was young. That's what he said to Eddie Caputo, who ended up being on his side. And now he said that to Junior. And I was like, all right, is Junior about to become the next Chucky? The scene between Chucky, Junior, and Junior's dad was very interesting because you have Chucky putting on the good guy voice, which he doesn't really do that often. So it was really funny to hear him say these mean things in that good guy voice and, turn his head all creepy like. Then Junior just loses it and beats his own father to death using Chucky. And oh my gosh, you can see like the way that they're swinging him. Like Chucky's like, woo! And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. I mean, it's also terrifying, but they add that little bit of humor, that you're just like, I don't know whether to laugh or just be horrified by what's going on. And I think that's part of the fun of Chucky. During all this, Devin has showed up at Chucky's original home and was trying to like do some research. He found Nika and he ends up getting tied up.
My name's Devin, by the way. What's yours?
It's Chucky.
And at the same time that Junior is killing his dad, all of a sudden Devin is in this room full of Chucky dolls that start to move. There's this freaking army of Chucky dolls, and it becomes clear that in getting some young innocent to kill, that would bring to life this voodoo that would make a Chucky army. So that's why he's been trying to get a young person to kill, and he succeeded with Junior. We end with Andy coming to the door. He's clearly found Chucky and Junior, and Chucky says that now, thanks to Junior, the real fun can start. So going into next week's episode is going to be insane with all of these Chuckies, with Tiffany, with Nika, with Andy, with Kyle, with everyone finally coming together. I think they did a really good job in foreshadowing that Junior was going to become that person who was the killer. They played that song, We Got the Beat, when Junior was kind of going under at the hospital and thought he saw Chucky, and then they bring that song back again and he and Chucky both sing it. I felt like a parallel between Chucky and Junior. And they also brought back that line again, you got guts, which to me felt very clear that this was a person who was going to be joining this legacy of Chucky. This was a really crazy episode, and as we really got to see the original cast and the newer cast connect more, as we got this crazy kill from Junior, as we learn about what Chucky's plan was this whole time. I mean, he really was trying to create the cult of Chucky, and now he found a way to do it all at once with all of these dolls. He's got his own army now. So what is the plan, and how are we going to wrap it up in one episode? Because that's all that's left. And I am really, really hoping that we're getting a season 2, because this has been one of my favorite shows this year. I never had really watched Chucky when I was younger because I was afraid. And once I found out the show was coming out, I did a whole binge watch of all the movies, and I've officially become part of the cult of Chucky. I think it's so fun. It's so gruesome. But I think the show works even better than the movies because you get a little bit more time to flesh out what's going on. And in fact, I feel like they could have probably even done a couple more episodes in this first season, and I would have been down to watch more. So crossing my fingers we get a second season, and I would love to hear what you guys have thought of this episode and just the season so far. We got one more left. Are you excited? What are your theories? Let me know in the comments down below. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out the exclusive Discord available on my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!